What up? What up? What up? Hello. Happy New Year, everybody. This is Gary at Hoops and Cards. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of our podcast designed to help you as investors, collectors, NBA basketball fans, like whatever you are. I am so glad to be with you. In fact, today is not only as a fan, I'm glad to see Tyrese Maxey returning from injury, but showing off one of my Christmas gifts. My son got me this amazing Tyrese Maxey jersey, Philadelphia 76ers City Edition, baby. So I'm loving it. It is great to be back with you after a crazy week for us and for a lot of people around the globe, traveling, celebrating Christmas, all sorts of other things, end of year stuff. Maybe you're gearing up for today's college football, American football. Yeah. I love seeing Argentina win the World Cup, by the way. So I'm into global football too. But American, like college football today, Ohio State against Georgia, Michigan, TCU, that's going to be just craziness. So I'm great. Just excited to get with you guys today for what looks to be an end of the year episode. Obviously, it's the last day of the year, but like to review 22, to think through the basketball card market, the sports card market. And some of you, men and women, ladies and gentlemen, you are into NBA. You're following the game. You're enjoying seeing nights where I can't believe Luka got 60. I can't believe what Gary Trent did last night. I can't believe the Joker is back at the top of the MVP list. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff going on, a lot of young players to watch, a lot of excitement in the NBA. And one of the things I want to help us process, in fact, guys, I get on here. Some of you have been listening to our podcast for a year and a half, maybe more. And I'm one of you. Like, I'm not one of these $1 million investors, mega, business platform mogul content creators. We're just a podcast from Akron. We just started this thing, for a while. I was just using my iPhone and the Anchor app. Shout out to Anchor. Thank you for the ease of that platform and that it's free. But like, we're just regular. This is just for people on maybe a limited budget. Maybe you're just starting out. Some of you are coming back to the hobby, to sports cards after years, maybe decades of not, paying much attention to basketball cards, baseball cards, whatever. And here you are back, and it's like a brand new world. It already has been a brand new world. Like, obviously the internet, all the new cards that released, guys. Now there are 40 or 50 different brands of basketball cards every year. And COVID set us back, even though it gave the sports card market a boom. Like it gave the sports card market a boom that unfortunately we're recovering from. And 2022, we saw the market, the prices and values of cards continued to decline. And we probably felt that more so in basketball because the season fades away. Basketball fades out of just the general sports collector and investor, their consciousness, from like July till it's still not front page news. It's still not a big deal to a lot of people. But I guess I assume a few things about you as you listen. I assume that you are a basketball fan, that you enjoy following the NBA, watching the NBA. You've got favorite players. Friends, that's what's got me back into it, man. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the last 15 years, especially the last, 8 years, have been so fun for me and my family to watch. We live in Northeast Ohio. So shout out to our listeners in Hong Kong, Germany, the Philippines, and of course, Australia, mates. Shout out to all of you all around the world. We just happen to be close to Cleveland. We are close to C-Town, and that's the letter C, town. It's actually on a lake too, but we don't call it the sea. Anyhow, I digress. I am a fan of basketball first and foremost, and that's going to be very important for how I talk about 2020, this past year, with you guys, because as a fan of the game, I have absolutely loved being a part of basketball cards, collecting, investing, keeping track of all of that, storing, displaying, and enjoying my cards, seeking out and waiting for cards to fall into my price range. And I've got some amazing deals, as a lot of you have. I mean, that's the best part of this. celebrating the dubs, celebrating the wins that we get. So one of my highlights of the week, as I told family, like I was trying to explain to them what the heck this is, because they're like, wait, you do a podcast with sports car? Well, like what? And so I almost have to show them the behind the card movie right there on the spot. I got to explain like the growth in this hobby and its attention on not just investing, but social media, all the new companies that have moved into this, all the platforms, sites like basketballforever.com. Shout out to you guys. And it's a thrill to partner with you and be a part of that network. But the global game, the appeal of basketball has never been greater. And there are just so many stars. I think that's the great part about this sport and about basketball cards, whether you collect autographs, rookies, jerseys, Tyrese, glad you're back, bro. I don't know him yet. That's my grail to interview Tyrese Maxey on the Hoops and Cards podcast. So can you guys hook that up for me over there in Philly? Hook that up. But first and foremost, we're fans. And if you are looking to basically as a fan connect more with your teams, celebrate and collect big moments, maybe you like to have a piece of what feels like their career when you have a jersey patch card, or you've got an autograph card, a limited edition card. I absolutely love that part of the hobby. So yeah, I mean, with Christmas here, I even put on my Christmas list, Darius Garland National Treasures card. Boom. I had several cards that I just wanted to have, and some that I sent away to get graded because I thought, you know what, whether this gets a PSA 8, 6, 10, I don't care. I just would like that card to be preserved for a while. I mean, long term, and to enjoy that card in great condition. So yeah, I think it's important to start there. Like a lot of you, I enjoy and follow the NBA. I have the league pass. I enjoy going to games. I have favorite players. I've got teams that I don't like and players that annoy me. And that's just part of being a human being. The wonderful thing about this hobby is the chance to connect with fans all over the world, the chance to collect a variety of things that are new. It used to be just new every year. Now it's like new every day with Panini Instant and the Topps Now. And there's a lot of ways to collect. And to collect players that you like, that you enjoy. And I want to start there because that's a lane that you can run in whether you make money or not. And at the same time, there are enough good players, like long-term, multiple-time all-stars, Hall of Fame legends that will be remembered for a long time, that are worth collecting, and their values, maybe they're lower now than they have been for the last 18 to 24 months. But if you check the stock market or the global economy, like almost everything is down. Almost every asset class for investing is down. And it's been a reminder to me too, as I've listened to other podcasts. Thank you, Slab Stocks. Thank you, Lucas, Tigers and Bronze. Thank you for the reminders these last few episodes you guys have done about, hey, this is about collecting, the hobby, the game. And maybe there are people that if you got into this just to make money, if that's the only reason you're here, then I feel your pain right now. I feel your frustration. There's been platforms built on that reality, on that opportunity, Sports Card Investor, Card Ladder Pro, and they're excellent. They help us move forward in the hobby and know what our cards are worth. Love, love, love it. At the same time, if you got into this just as an investor, but I could say if you got into anything in the last 2 years just as an investor, right? Like it's probably been frustrating. It's been a rough go. I've got cards in that box sitting over there on my shelf, right there. I'm pointing at it. If you're watching the YouTube channel, like, subscribe. It's over there. Just trust me. Just believe that it's there. I've got like 200 graded cards, and I'm like, half of those are maybe less in value. Maybe more than half of them have lost value in the last 6 months. And again, a lot of that's the economy, but some of that is, friends, it is not basketball season in the eyes and the minds of most people doing sports cards, because a lot of people, they don't run in the lane, the specific basketball only. That's why I started this podcast, guys. I would listen to 3 or 4 other podcasts on a regular basis as I was trying to educate myself. Brad Jeffries, Josh Smith. I was trying to get back into the hobby and learn what I didn't know yet. Still do that, by the way. It's good to be a continuous learner, right? Always learning. But I didn't hear people talking enough about basketball cards. I didn't hear people talking about cards that were less than $500 each. Not a lot of podcasts where they would talk about maybe after the fact, like, hey, Jaren Jackson's cards went down 48% over the last 30 days. Like, that didn't help me. I didn't need to hear people talk about Formula One, NFTs, baseball cards. I'm a basketball fan, like, without apology. Most of you guys have found our podcast by searching on Apple Podcasts or Google. By the way, we've just been added to Amazon and audible.com. You can find our podcast nearly anywhere if you search basketball cards. We're still the number one that you find on that. And there are very few podcasts that do it regularly and have been doing it for more than a year. So all that to say, I hope, I encourage you to just enjoy the game. And as we talk about the end of the season stuff, in fact, end of the year. It's not the end of the season yet, Gare. Come on. These teams haven't completely tanked yet. San Antonio, Detroit, what are y'all doing? I have my revised as of December 31st, my revised MVP ladder, my revised card rankings. I mean, this is worth a price that you paid to get this free podcast. This is good stuff. And I went through, and a lot has changed since I made the last version of this. In fact, Cade Cunningham going down for the year, LaMelo Ball returning with a vengeance, Damian Lillard looking fantastic. Let me just go through, if the season ended today, here would be my all-stars based on how they're playing. Now we're going to navigate. Does this affect the card markets or whether I'd buy their cards? Sometimes no, but I'm just going to say the East starters. Here's what it looks like to me. The East starting 5 would be, I don't even know if this plays out well with guards and forwards, like front court, back court. If you go on the NBA.com and vote, like they have guys broken down in position, but the starters to me look like Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant. There, I said it. Kevin Durant, Donovan Mitchell, and Joel Embiid. Those by popular demand and by performance, all those guys are dominating right now. And so Tatum, Giannis, KD, Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid. No surprise there. The rest of my all-star roster looks like this. Julius Randle, he's on fire. Tyrese Halliburton, Kyrie Irving, there. It's hard to keep him off the list when he's averaging like 28 a game, and the Brooklyn Nets are, they've won 10 in a row. They're on fire. I get it. Kyrie is showing us that he can stay in the game and make that team better. So Kyrie Irving, you're on my all-star team. Pascal Siakam, duh, that's a no-brainer. DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young, even though the Hawks are struggling, it's hard to argue with 30 points and 10 assists a game. Jaylen Brown, and yes, Darius Garland. It was a close call for me even as a Cavs Garland fan to put Garland in over Drew Holiday, but I did it. It was hard to put him in over Paolo Banchero, but Paolo, his numbers have been down and Orlando's bad, so I can't do that. The alternates would be actually James Harden could play himself back into this conversation as he's been great lately. Bradley Beal, LaMelo Ball back healthy, doing a lot of things. But I figured that some of these teams with, near the top of the standings, like, did I say Jaylen Brown? He's totally in. Jaylen Brown, the Boston Celtics, several of these teams like Brooklyn, they deserve to have more than one all-star. It wasn't just Kevin Durant that made Brooklyn great now. I mean, they were average when they had just KD and Ben Simmons was doing who knows what. But Kyrie comes back and starts playing fantastic basketball. They've turned that team around. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm skeptical. So my Western Conference All-Stars, this was a bit harder. And I want to thank CJ McCollum from Canton, like 10 minutes from here. CJ, Federal League, like, dude, right down the street. Bro, you should come on my podcast too. Maybe you collect cards. I actually just sold the CJ McCollum rookie on eBay yesterday. And almost like took it off eBay after he had 41 points last night. But my Western Conference All-Stars are Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Ja Morant, and Nikola Jokic. Those are my starters. It was not easy to keep Zion off the list off the starting five, and he might crack that starting five. But the starters: Luka, LeBron, SGA, Morant, and Jokic. You can't beat that. But the backups or the alternates: Zion, Steph Curry, Lauri Markkanen, De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Edwards is on a tear. He's on a tear, and they need him to be over in Minnesota without Karl Anthony Towns and without what is his cheese? Oh, the French dude, Rudy Gobert. Yeah, boy, Naz Reid's looking better. So Anthony Edwards, Damian Lillard, he's missed a few games here and there, but his numbers and his impact on that team is undeniable. Paul George, at times he's like just the quiet assassin. He's the quiet MVP candidate every year, it seems like, and he's playing great ball. Devin Booker. And then I think Anthony Davis would qualify if he was healthy. He was having a great season. So the alternates: CJ McCollum, Desmond Bane, as he plays himself back into shape, was having an all-star season. Domantas Sabonis. You got to look at the big man with 6 assists and 11 boards a game, and Jaren Jackson with 3 blocks a game. Anthony Simons. I got to find a way to mention his name on every episode, people. You know that. So let me go to my MVP race, and then we'll take a quick break. The MVP race. This has really changed over the last month. This is where I got to take the glasses off and say, man, a lot can happen in a month. And, if you think about buying cards that are going to have the potential to not only retain their value, but be in high demand going forward. I didn't say the price is going up. I just said high demand by basketball card investors and collectors. That's where I would say, listen to these names in the MVP race. Some of them, you're going to hear their names every single year. Like every time everybody does an MVP list, Joel, your name's going to be on it, right? You don't have to argue whether you're in the mix. Joel Embiid is in the mix. And I wonder, there's another name I might add here. All right. I guess I'm doing a top 13. But these are names where if I name one of your favorite players and he's having an MVP type of season, then here's what I'll guarantee you. You can find good deals on their cards right now. Now, they might go up a little bit towards the All-Star game, or a lot. They might go up a lot as the playoff push happens. But right now, still end of December, early January, maybe mid and late January, there are some deals, prices better than they've been in 2 years. Now, could they keep going down? Sure. Sure. But there are enough of us in the hobby. There are enough sports card collectors and investors, basketball fans, that these players, I think their demand compared to the rest of the league and compared to boxes where you might be able to pull out, your Corey Kispert cracked ice. I never have good luck ripping wax. Those boxes, blaster boxes you get at Walmart, mystery boxes you find at Target. You don't know what you're going to get in those. I just never have good luck. I like to buy single cards of prayers. This is when I know it's time to break. Single cards of players, right? Guys like these 13. Number 13, I'm doing a countdown, is LeBron James. LeBron James having a fantastic season, put up 47 points last night on his 38th birthday. Happy birthday, LeBron. He's having a fantastic season. I know the Lakers kind of became a punchline early on in the season, but LeBron is always worth watching, and he's going to start breaking more records. So number 13. Number 12, Ja Morant. He's down a spot. Just not making the headlines as he used to. Missed a bunch of games, and we'll see. I anticipate Ja going up in this list. Number 11, Paul George. He wasn't ranked before, but look at the Clippers. Look at George's season that he's having. Tell me that guy's not super consistent and plays defense as well. So there's a leader on his team. Number 10, and it pains me to say that he is this low, but that's how many great players are in the league today, is Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam at Toronto is just on an absolute tear. He's a freak that deserves to start in the All-Star game. It's no shock to see numbers like Luka Doncic's when I look at what Pascal is doing, and it's one of those players. There are players, you guys, that their card value has not caught up yet to their playing value, and maybe it never will. That's the crazy thing. Like, maybe it never will, or maybe it will, as people start to take notice, as awards start to come, as they start to think, oh, Siakam's how many All-Star games has he been in? Oh, Julius Randle's been in how many All-Star games? You start to think, and these teams start to contend. I think that's what's going to move the needle for any of these names. What do we think they'll do in May and June? What do you think these players have the potential to actually do? But Siakam's number 10, number 9, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, down 2 points. But when you're averaging 32 a game and you're a complete player, you start to feel sorry for him, but he is every bit deserving of being in this conversation. And you can still find some great deals on his cards, even though he's been one of those guys everybody's been paying attention to. I mean, everybody in our little corner of the basketball card world knows who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is. Number 8, Joel Embiid. So your drop 3, Joel. Sorry, dude, go complain about it. Go whine to the media again. But Joel, got to be in the mix, and he's averaged 35 a game for the last 10 games. The Sixers need to move up the standings for Joel to have a chance in this because, wins matter. Playoff contending matters. You can pad your stats against smaller teams that don't have a center all day. You can do that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can pad his stats and basically be unguardable, but you're looking for guys that contribute to winning. Number 7 is Kevin Durant. He wasn't on my list before. Now he is. See how that goes? Zion Williamson, number 6, wasn't on my list before. Now he is, because New Orleans, oh my word, is one of those teams that could make a long run in the playoffs. Looking good. They need to get healthy Brandon Ingram back, and they need more of those nights like last night from what's his name? CJ McCollum. Dude was on fire. Number 5, Donovan Mitchell. Cavs remaining in the top 4 in the East. Donovan Mitchell playing like an MVP in big games when they need him to. It's hard to stop him. Donnie Mitchie. I have Donovan Mitchell's jersey underneath my Maxey, underneath my Tyrese Maxey. So number 4, Luka Doncic. How in the world is he number 4? Well, the standings, number 1. Yeah, we can talk about his defense, but it's not as good as the next 3 players. And that's the thing. You have so many MVP candidates. Number 3 is Giannis. Hello. Hello. That's your number 3 MVP candidate. That's how deep the league is right now. It's awesome. Number 2, Jason Tatum. I mean, he's the straw that stirs the drink for Boston. I thought about moving him down below Giannis and Luka, and I still might, but it's been a consistent, fantastic rise to the occasion season so far for Jason Tatum. And number 1, I mean, what if the Joker wins his 3rd MVP in a row? Like, chew on that. And he doesn't have a lot of rookie cards, right? There's not a lot of options back from 2015 and 16. And here's the thing, like, I know that being a 3rd-time MVP is a huge, huge deal in the NBA. 3 in a row? Are you kidding me? And he's still young, but a dominant center who can average close to 30 or more than 30, 12 rebounds a game, 10, 11 assists a game. Denver is on fire. Michael Porter Jr. is back, draining threes. Jamal Murray looks good. Bones Highland, Aaron Gordon. They've got a good thing going in Denver right now, but it's all about the Joker. The thing is, centers and their card values, not great. And if he's not taken off in hobby value by now, I mean, we had the 2 or 3 strongest years in basketball cards, and the Joker was kind of an afterthought. And I don't really know how to explain that except to say you need to know it. And just because he's number 1 on the MVP list here and another list doesn't mean that, hey, I think you should go buy a Jokic rookie prism. Not necessarily. Have I thought about doing it myself? Not lately. No. So it's a mystery, but it's good to listen to podcasts like this that talk about that stuff, because it's like, sometimes I don't know when a player's card value, like, I don't know which cards to look for. I do know that if Denver wins a championship, or Denver goes to the finals, or Jokic wins his 3rd MVP, or he has more monster highlights, he's just not that flashy, wiggle and dunk and slam and drive to the lane, and I'm Ja Morant and I can beat the whole Western Conference. Like, he's just not, his highlight off the court this month was saying, I like to dress in suits for the games. That is a business trip. Like, yeah, Joker. Yeah, I mean, but dude backs everything up. He's a fantastic player. With that, Let's go to the break.